there. I'm Angela Johnson, and I'm going to be your professor for your assessment class. I'm super excited to be part of this journey with you and share my thoughts about assessment. For little ones, for elementary school, kids, for middle school, high school, assessment of students of all ages and all language backgrounds, diverse backgrounds. I'm really excited to develop those ideas with you. So I hope that you're as excited as me to just learn and explore and maybe develop something new that nobody has done before. All right, so this is class number 1. This is a little bit about my family and about me. So I have a master's in bilingual education through WSU Tri-Cities here in Washington. I'm originally from Brazil, São Paulo, Brazil, and I did all my bachelor's work there. I'm a speaker of Portuguese, so my first language is Portuguese, and then I learned English as my second language, and then I learned Spanish as my third language, and I would love to keep learning more languages, right? Like I started learning a little bit of French, and I think my next language would be probably Italian, and I don't know, whatever language, is next would be fun, no matter what language that is. What about you? What language would you like to learn? And what places would you like to go, to explore that culture? So I think a lot about this class will be assessing learners of all different backgrounds, and language is a huge piece, right? So just think about like their experiences and their backgrounds. How can you as an educator help them with their learning experience and their assessment experience, right? So think about that. I want you, so number 1, I want you to be very resourceful during this, the course of this class. I want you to use a discussion thread that I posted on Canvas for everyone throughout the whole entire course, okay? Not just the first week or second week. I want you to use this for all the weeks. So if you have a question about something in class, let's say it might be something related to how things work. For example, how do I submit this assignment? How do I post on Canvas? How do I, record myself on Zoom? How do I create my YouTube channel, or where do I find whatever? So I get bombarded with tons of emails daily. Sometimes it's hard for me to get to them really fast. And sometimes it's just like you email me and then 5 minutes later you email me back and say, oh yeah, I figured it out. But then I get 2 extra emails in my inbox that I didn't need to have because you figured it out on your own. But if we have this Ask 3 Before Me discussion thread, you can ask each other the questions first, and then I'll, of course, be looking at this thread and make sure that your questions get answered in one spot so everybody can see your question, everybody can see the answer to your question, and most people have the same questions so that I don't have to repeat myself over and over again and answer the same emails with the same answers, like literally 20, 30 times. So it's a way for you to be resourceful, number 1. Number 2, learn to work collaboratively with your peers and be resourceful, right, in that matter. And 3, like really wait for that answer, because sometimes you get so eager to learn, to know the answer right away, you just kind of keep working on it, and then you email me again and again and again until you figure it out, and then I get all those emails in my inbox and just, for no reason. So just think about that. Use the discussion thread. I do look at the thread. I do answer the questions when nobody does. But I do expect you to be looking at the thread like daily to see if there's anything that you can help somebody with or you can be helped with. All right? Thank you so much. And then another thing is the syllabus. The syllabus will always have a lot of your questions answered. So make sure that you're looking at the syllabus, you're going over, let's say, oh, those are the assignments. Those are the points for the assignments. Of course, the syllabus might not be perfect. Sometimes I forget something or I made a mistake. Great, go to the thread, the Ask 3 Before Me. Then somebody might answer your question, but hopefully the syllabus is as as perfect as it can be, so that you can like just go there and rely on it and find most of your answers, you know, there. And the calendar is in the syllabus, so make sure that you look at the calendar. I hardly ever make mistakes when it comes to the calendar, so make sure that you go there and look at the calendar and know when things are due. Make sure that you're turning in assignments on time. That's the next bullet down here. Turning in your assignments on time. Canvas will show that your assignment is late when it's turned in late. So I get emails like, oh, my Canvas just posted, I posted my assignment and it says it's late. Well, because it's late. What can I do, right? I am very flexible about working with you on something. You know, like let's say something happened, you need an extension, good. But you don't need to email me about every single thing. Sometimes it's late because of 2 minutes. I will see that when I look at the submission and I see it's late, I will see the time stamped. Um, and I'm okay with that. It's, you know, maybe it was like meant to be posted at by midnight and you posted at 1 a.m., you know, an hour later. And I know you were working on it. I will not deduct points from your assignment, you know, from you. So just know that I will be graceful and know that you were working on your assignment. So just make sure that you're showing that you're, you know, working hard and that you're doing your assignments, and we're gonna just do fine. We're gonna get along just fine. You know, that's all I can say. And thank you for, you know, taking this class and being the educator that you are, and that's wonderful. And then the best way to get a hold of me is by email. I do not want to do phone calls this time. I think got a little bit out of hand, you know, semesters prior. And so I'm like, no, let's do email first, and then you can wait for my response. I'm pretty good at replying and being in touch. So you can do that. Another way we're going to communicate also is going to be through the remind system. So under announcements on Canvas, there will be a link for you to sign up for announcements. That is going to be how we communicate. Like if there's something new on Canvas or a new video that I'm posting with, you know, content for you, you go to those announcements. You get those on your phone. It's a free text message. You get that there. It's beautiful, and it's free, and it's wonderful. And you can text me back there, and as soon as I can, I'll reply back if it's something important. Of course, you email me if it's something important, because I want it documented. I want it there, and I can reply if I can, when I can. But that's kind of how the remind system works. It's a really cool way to keep our communication going, and then give you reminders. Oh yeah, the assignment is due tomorrow. Oh, here's a link for the Zoom, or, you know, things like that. So just be ready for those things. All right, perfect. If we're meeting on Zoom that week or not. So it just depends if we have a Zoom meeting or if we don't have a Zoom meeting. Just depends on each week and what we have established as our form of communication and class delivery. All right. Perfect. Now, most of my videos will be also on my YouTube channel. You're gonna be creating your own YouTube channel, because that's the easiest way to share videos. It's easy with you know, you upload your video to the channel, and you can share with anyone at any time with just a link. So it's easy to share. It's light as far as like, you don't have a huge file to share. So this is my channel. I would like you to subscribe to my channel so you can see every time that I post something new. You know when it's there. You know to go and watch the new video or videos, and so you can be in the loop. This is my channel right there. Pretty easy to find me. And here are some examples of videos that I posted. Right now, when you create your own channel, there are a few things I want to talk to you about. So we're going to be, in the education program, we're going to be uploading videos for ourselves, right? Those links that we're going to be creating for those videos that you're going to be sending to me are not going to be shared with the world, all right? Maybe they'll be shared amongst ourselves just for the purpose of learning to become teachers, right? Or to improve our teaching practices. So don't worry about like, oh, somebody else is going to be watching my video, or anything like that. All right. So I would like you to, of course, not take down your video. I would love to use your video as an example for maybe another class that I teach maybe next quarter or semester. To see as an example, would be awesome to have that, to show them like a snippet or something like that, so they know, oh yeah, that's kind of what she's talking about. But don't worry about that. I won't be like, oh yeah, let's, you know, broadcast to the whole world. It's not how this works. But you're gonna upload your videos there, and then set your settings to public. You can also set your videos to unlisted. All right. Unlisted means that your video is not going to be shown, you know, like to the whole world. Only people with that particular link will have access to that. If you put private, I will not be able to access your link. So do not set to private. Public is the best way to go about it. Unlisted, I'll need a specific link. Only people with that specific link will be able to do that. Now, make sure that you set videos to adults. Set to adults. So if when it says, is it made for kids, or no, it's not made for kids, put no, it's not made for kids. Even though you might have kids in your video, put no, it's not made for kids, because sometimes, for example, my daughter watches videos, like let's say she's watching a video, a cartoon on YouTube. If you set your video to say that it's made for kids, two things happen. First thing, she might be watching your video in the middle of her cartoons. So it's not quite what this video is about, the videos that we're gonna be uploading about our teaching practices about, right? So that's not appropriate. Second, if you set it to kids, to made for kids, I will not be able to comment on your video or like your video or save to my playlists to watch later again. All right, so make sure that you set to public, it's right here, and then video for adults. All right, that's the best way. That's what I want. I'm just explaining it to you so you understand the rationale behind the channel. It's super easy. Unlisted is okay, but don't set to private because I will not be able to watch it. All right. And then of course the link, there's always a template for you to use with your name, date, put your link here. You're gonna copy paste your link to that Word document. And then there's always like a paragraph to write or something to do. And then you add the link and then you turn that in to me in a nice document. Not just like, oh, send me a link, like just this loose link that I don't know what it is, right? So make sure that you send that into this template document, all right? We'll have so much fun. Now let's talk about the objective of this class. So this is the introduction for assessment. So we're going to talk about assessment of learners, of all learners, right? From a young age all the way to adults. So assessment of learners, of all learners, I would say assessment of diverse learners, of English language learners. English language learners are learning English. They come from a different language background. They are diverse. And all learners are different. Even if you come from just one language background, you're still diverse because one person is different than the other person. And so we have to be open to all those things. So some of the goals for this class will be, number one, I have here on bulleted points for you. Explain issues related to diagnosis, assessment, placement of students, exiting students from programs that they might be qualifying for services, right? And monitoring students, especially second language learners. Let's say they place for receiving English, you know, as a second language, ESL classes, or they are receiving specific, for example, oh my gosh, special education services. Then you're going to be able to know about monitoring those students, how it works to place them in that particular, you know, in those services, to receive those services, and so on and so forth. So we're going to talk about those assessments, how that works, and if it's related to language, if it's a disability, and so on and so forth. Okay. Second bullet point: understand the use of learning standards, okay, and goals to drive your instruction, and then how they're related to assessment. So basically, how does assessment and curriculum work together? You just don't assess something that you didn't teach. You haven't taught yet. Teaching and assessment are connected. 200% at all times. Now, the third bullet is gonna like blow your mind. Now, it's not only learning standards for content, but also for language. So third bullet says, understand the use of language standards in correlation to content standards, and then match that to assessment. Right? We're gonna talk about that in very much detail as we go through this class. The next one, use critical and reflective analysis in reviewing and developing curriculum for and assessment of all learners. Define objective and subjective observation. So you're observing students doing things in the classroom. You can use that as your assessment, right? What is objective observation and subjective observation? And what are portfolio assessments? And the next, what are performance-based assessments? And so what are all assessments that foster all four language domains? The reading, listening, speaking, and writing. How can you assess them separately, and how can you assess them all together, right? And then another thing we're gonna really touch on during this class is how can we examine our own prejudices, which can interfere with objective observation? How can we as people, and we're biased as people because we have our own values and our own identity, our own culture, our own, we came from this, you know, we have a set of values that we think, oh yeah, I'm so open to everything. And until you meet somebody that is completely different than you, and you're like, oh, this kid is weird or this and that. And you're like, oh, okay, are you judging that child based on your own preconceived notions of what that child should be like? So we're gonna talk about that. Do you know yourself? That's gonna be the topic of our next class, okay? So we're gonna talk about that. So examine prejudices which can interfere with objective observation. And then practice the following methods of observation: anecdotal recording, on the spot recording, like can you have a clipboard on you? Do you need sticky notes? What do you need? Frequency counts, checklists, behavior profiles. And then also the next one is demonstrating also an understanding of the need of for confidentiality when recording information. So assessment can be tricky. You have to have a lot of understanding that it's confidential. You can't be sharing it with everyone and anyone, right? And again, the last bullet, let's read together. Examine their own beliefs, meaning yours and mine and everybody else's, right? Their own beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors about authentic curriculum for and assessments of second language learners. So this one is the biggest thing that we're gonna explore in this class. All right, and one big thing I want to make sure that you understand is that we are going to be talking about online learning and assessment. Not just online learning, but both together, because we cannot talk about assessment without talking about online learning now. Kids are at home. How are we assessing their learning? They're not coming to the classroom anymore like they used to, right? They might be going back to the classroom soon, or you might be having to do assessments online. How's that gonna work? And then we're gonna touch on, is it equitable to have students doing, having online assessments, online learning and assessing them that way? How about the English language learners or students with disabilities? Are they being assessed the same way? Are they getting the same opportunities to be assessed? Are there ways that we can assess them to be more equitable, right? To have that same experience, like that learning experience throughout their learning, right? Their educational, years, and then make sure that they are getting what they need. And then we know with the assessment that they actually learned what we taught. So what are some strategies that we can use? What are some ways we can assess students from diverse language backgrounds, little or big? All right, and so I'm really excited for all those topics, so I hope you are too. But first, we need to learn a little bit about ourselves. Our first activity for the first week is going to be a Padlet. What, Angela, what's a Padlet? Padlet is a very cool website that is going to give us a tool for an online learning environment. And it comes in many different forms. So on my screen, I have a wall style Padlet, Canvas style Padlet, a stream, it looks more like a chat or like a blog, a grid style. Then I have at the bottom there, I have like shelf, a back channel, it's more like a chat box, a map, and I have a timeline. You can create visual boards with Padlet. So your first assignment is going to be creating a Padlet about yourself. At the bottom right here, you can see my Padlet, a snippet of my Padlet, right? I have my link right here. It's padlet.com/AngelaJohnsonUSA/allaboutmeAngela. If you go there, you're gonna see that I have an example of a Padlet. And you can go in, I'm gonna click on it right now. Let me see if you can still see my screen. Yes, you can. Okay. You can still see that. Oop. Okay. Perfect. Right here, you can see that I have my photos. This is my Padlet. I can easily add another board right here, see, to my Padlet anywhere, and I can just type in whatever I want. I can add a picture right here, and I can add a link. I can upload something. You can see my favorite food, something about my family, where I'm from, all those things. I want you to play with it, okay? Now, if I go back to our PowerPoint, right here, again, I'm trying to do this again. There's an example from somebody else, right here. We have this short bio that I found on Padlet. Somebody that has a dog that likes pizza, has a favorite book, what he's listening to right now, contact information, and so on and so forth. So there are many different ways that you can go about this and create your own Padlet, okay? You just have to choose your template and go from there, okay? Now you create your free account at padlet.com. Let me see, I'm gonna stop my share and I'm gonna share my screen again. So make sure you can see me and I can see myself here on the screen again. You're going to go to Padlet.com and you're gonna create a free account so that when you comment on my Padlet for the first time, I can see your comment and your name and everything, right? So create a free account with Padlet.com. And then you're going to share your Padlet with me on Canvas. Okay, we're also gonna share that in a discussion thread so that we can see each other's Padlets and know about each other and get to know a little bit about maybe our own, backgrounds. And you can develop different ideas about like, okay, my educational background, maybe you can talk about your country, maybe you can talk about your culture. You can get creative about what you wanna share, all right? Think about how could you share this with your students? I think they would really love it. All right. And then don't forget to go to Canvas and look at the syllabus. It's posted there. And then here's a little meme for you. When they hand out, they meaning me, right? When they hand out the syllabus on the first day, he was like, oh yeah, so excited. And you're like, oh, second page, third page, oh. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna die. That's you right there, right? But don't die. It's okay. We're gonna get through it. It's gonna be so much fun. And you're gonna see that everything is all right. Okay, so I'll keep recording our sessions and telling you more about some of the details of our assignments and so on and so forth, so that you don't have any problems or any questions. And I hope that you're having a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. See you next class. All right, thank you for watching.